The Ancient Column with the Unknown Inscription of Hercules through Aristotle. There is a book by Aristotle called About Wonderful Hearings. These are small treatises attributed to Aristotle and rescued by Arab historians, but their authenticity is disputed by some. This book, which today remains relatively unknown and especially to the Greek public, allows us to get to know the unknown era of ancient Greece and to be informed about events and happenings that Aristotle himself records as admirable. In the book we read about the unknown, we remember Aristotle was Alexander the Great's teacher. In this book we read about the unknown journey of Hercules to the west, performing the so-called feats today. Evidence, his feats, he had all these things that he had to do. Evidence that proves the passage of this great mercenary and the influence he has even today through names and legends. In verse 133 we read as follows. Translation: In the land of Aina, Iberia, in a place called Ipati, it said that an ancient column was found that bore the inscription with archaic characters whose Iberians wanted to know the origin. So they sent messengers to Athens, in Greece that is, to carry the contents of the inscription there. However, as they traveled through Viotia, which is about an hour's drive north of Athens, discussing the matter with some strangers, it is said that the Aenians, the Iberians, were taken to Thebes in an oracle of Ismeni Apollo, because it was said that the inscription was more likely to be deciphered there, as they had some offerings with ancient letters similar in form. After discovering this, the Iberians, what they were asking from the already known inscriptions, they translated the following. I, Hercules, dedicated a sacred grove to Kythera Persephone when I was leading the herds of Geryonis and Erythea. The goddess Persephone subdued me as I had a great desire for her. Here my young wife Erythea gave birth to a son, Erythondas. Then I gave her, Erythea, the plain in the memory of our love under a shady beach. The place called Erythos does exist today, but also the fact that Hercules brought the cows from there, Erythos, and not from Erythea, because they say that the name Erythea is not found in the regions of Libya or Iberia. From the writings of Aristotle, if the discovery of the column is correct, we understand how ancient the campaign of Hercules in Iberia, in Spain that is today, was, to the point that they considered the find as ancient as the 4th century BC. While it's noteworthy that even then ancient Greeks were almost unable to make sense of this text, which they finally managed to translate into these many of Thebes, also an ancient sanctuary from the Pelasgian years, according to historians who conducted archaeological excavations on the Ismeni Hill, quote, the importance of Ismeni is great because ancient sources from a wide range of chronological periods testify to its continued use as one of the main sanctuaries of ancient Thebes. There is no doubt that the site has enormous architectural, literary, and religious significance from the 2nd millennium BC onwards. This is what Miss Larson, researcher on the history of ancient Viotia, said, adding that the exploration of the sanctuary and the road leading to it from the city can reveal important tributes from the period of the most intensive activity of the sanctuary, that is from the 7th to the 4th century BC, when it functioned as the main competitor in the Greek area of the sanctuary of Apollo at Delphi. End quote. Even today we come across thousands of place names and legends attributed to the Hercules campaign in the West. And this, of course, has to do with Spain. This I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.